Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number, monumental, number 79. Can you believe that we are creeping up on like 80? And then after 80, it's like 90. Now, I've almost done this for a freaking 100 weeks, and I love it. Gentlemen, today what we are talking about is a few things. We're going to get to your question, actually your comments from the last vlog in a second. First, wanted to give you a quick update. We are dealing with some issues. We're getting a new order. We are selling this stuff like crazy, and so we've placed another order, a big order. We're working through a few little issues with some ingredients, but we're getting that all squared away. Sometime I'll tell you more about the whole. Just how it works in terms of like the approval process, and because we've changed. The approval process for these products, once the lab actually mixes them, is they go to Kelly, they go to Chicago. It used to be I used to get them, smell them, and oh yeah, this is great, perfect, let's do this, it's good to go. But one time I did that and it wasn't quite right, and I could not personally detect the difference, because apparently this nose you would think would be a fragrance machine, being able to pick out stuff, but apparently I don't have the greatest sense of smell, and so there was a slight difference, and so Kelly is the one who is in charge. Kelly and then our team up in Chicago that are the ones that actually give approval. Once approval has happened, then they actually fill the container, ship them to Chicago, and we're ready to rock. Most everything has been approved, but there's one or two that we're still tweaking and fine-tuning. The frustrating thing with these products is because we use a lot of natural ingredients, sometimes you have variations in the ingredient. And so you might have a slight variation in the odor. And so it's not that it's not good, it's not that it's not right, it's not that it's not anything other than it might smell a little bit different. And most people can't even detect anything. Some people can detect a little bit. But the batch is always amazing in terms of the quality and how it actually works with your skin. So we're dealing with a few little things there, tweaking some things, but the website is coming along. I think we will be transitioned over to the new platform, Shopify, this month, but I haven't had an update in a few days. But I think everything is going well there. One thing I want to touch on real quick, because it's been coming up a lot, and that is not here on the vlog, but just in some of my other businesses, because I have Pete and Pedro, I've got the Fashion Anchor, and then Tiege Hanley, and we deal with customers in all three of those businesses. And I just want to take a second to sort of share a lesson I learned, and that is how insanely important customer service is. I didn't always think that customer service was as important as it has become. But today, in the world of reviews and the world of, things are different nowadays. Things are different than they used to be 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when you'd buy something, if you didn't love it, what are you going to do? You're going to tell one friend, two friends, and you don't buy it again? Well, now, we're so connected and everybody has a voice. That's one of the beautiful things about social media, but it's also one of the potential negatives if you are not performing or living up to people's expectations. One of the things that has been an absolute amazing situation is the fact that these Tiege Hanley products are so fantastic. Can you imagine if they were crap and on all my videos all the comments were, yo, your products suck, you're totally blowing smoke? Like, that would be a nightmare. But back to customer service. Customer service and the way that you treat your customers, the way that you handle issues or problems when they arise, is one of the most critical aspects and components to your business and ultimately your success. There are businesses out there that have failed due to the fact that they have had such incredibly poor customer service. How frustrating is it when you call some of these places and they outsource? And I get outsourcing is a thing, and I get outsourcing is beneficial to the bottom dollar, but it's really frustrating when you feel like you're getting the runaround, or you don't feel like you're actually getting anywhere when you have a problem or an issue. And so actually it was my mom. It was my mom who told me, because she had been working for I Am Alpha M, my business where I sell like apparel and stuff like that on my website. And she basically was handling all of the customer service. And she would come to me with problems, and I'd just be like, ah, and I would get all pissed off, because a lot of times when there's a problem, that means it's going to cost me money, because I'm going to have to reship something, I'm going to have to exchange something, it ultimately usually has to do with me, or they didn't get their package or whatever. Aaron, Marie, me, I'm going to have to pay. And so I always had sort of this negative, not negative, but it was just, I didn't put as much of a value on it as I do now. But she actually was the one who pointed out, look, your reputation is on the line here. And she said it a few times, and I'd get mad, and oh, whatever, my reputation's fine. And I sort of, I had to go back to her and say, you know what, Mom, you're right. And now, not only have, and the other thing back with customer service, when it was like me and my mom and just a one-man show, it was really difficult. My assistant Debbie, she'd help with a lot of stuff, but because I'm a control freak, I've had to relinquish a lot of control, and some of these things I've had to let other people handle, because I wasn't good at handling customer service personally. I was really bad, to be honest, because I didn't have time. I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to deal with the negative, because I had other things that I wanted to do that were positive. And so over the course of the past few years, I have come to realize that customer service is so incredibly important. And Rob with Tiege Hanley has, from day one, just really, really hammered home the fact that it's about our customers. It's about our customers. It's about our customers. And our customer service at Tiege Hanley is fantastic. And so that's something that I'm really proud of. And I know the whole team is really proud of it. But we work really hard to make sure that it's great. And so if you guys send an email, we try to get back to you as soon as possible. But sometimes it might take a day or two. But we're never not going to get to an issue. So, be patient. Amazon is another great example of, they make you be good at customer service, because if you get a question sent to you through your shop, if you're selling on Amazon and you don't answer, or you just blow it off, or you have you're going to get a crappy, star review, and B, Amazon is going to put the kibosh on whatever you're selling. You have to maintain a certain customer satisfaction rating with Amazon. You also need to maintain good standing and good response time. You've got a limited window in which you've got to respond to people. So Amazon figured it out a long time before I did, but I've come to realize that it is incredibly important. So if you have a business and you're dealing with the public, make sure that you've got a plan in place to have rock solid, amazing customer service. Let's get to the questions. So in the last vlog, I asked for your feedback. I asked for your feedback on the simplicity and what you would change with the card that we send in each kit with Tiege Hanley that actually shows the instructions. And you guys had some incredible feedback, seriously incredible. But there were some things that came up that I would like to actually respond to. And a few people gave thumbs up and replies to, I don't feel there's enough AM moisturizer. AM moisturizer, there are 0.75 fluid ounces in this. And I wanted to just talk about this for a second, because the dosing and the amount that you use is going to determine how long this stuff lasts. And let me show you how much AM moisturizer you are supposed to be using, all right? Crap. Sorry about that. All right, AM moisturizer time. This is the AM moisturizer. You use it in the morning, once a day. And this is how much you are supposed to use per application, about like that. Literally, a little bit. You do not need a lot. You want to make sure that it covers your entire face, a little bit on your neck, but you should not look glossy or wet after you apply. If you do, you're using too much. And I have a sneaking suspicion that if you're saying you're running out, you're using way too much. This is not a sunscreen, okay? In terms of, you don't put if you're going to the beach, you don't lather yourself down, This is a moisturizer, and you don't need too much or to use too much. When you do, you waste it because your skin can only absorb so much. And a little secret, I use this twice a day. When I get up in the morning before I go to Starbucks, I put this on, a little moisture, always feels good, and the smell refreshes me. And then after my shower in the morning, I put it on again. So I'm actually using this, I'm using twice as much as the normal person, and it lasts me over 30 days. And so if you're running out, you're using way too much. So that is the first question. The second question is, could you make the AM and PM look different? so these are the two products. You've got AM, PM. They look identical, except one says AM and one says PM. I mean, seriously? In fairness, he recommends using some type of icon like a sun or a moon, and I actually think that is a pretty good idea. I think that's a really good idea. But we've got a lot of packaging on its way that we have not done. But something to put on the potential back burner, and something to think about and consider. The next question is, get Casey Neistat to make your ad. Because I've been talking a lot about ads and making a video great. Well, A, he doesn't do ads much anymore. And B, I used to have a serious man crush on Casey Neistat. And I still respect him. I respect him so incredibly much as a vlogger, as a YouTuber, as a business person. He does just a fantastic job. But one thing that I've sort of lost my, I don't know, it bothers me. Something he does bothers me greatly, and that is he does not disclose the fact that he is getting compensated for all of this stuff that he talks about and he promotes. You know, and you're like, but Alpha, he says on there that, you know, he'll let you know when it's not a paid sponsorship. He'll actually put it on the screen. But one of the first things, and I always thought like the boosted board, you know, okay, well, he's got to be compensated. He's on the board or something with boosted board. He gets taken care of with boosted board. And I think and that's just one example, and probably a bad one. But one that I can relate to is I did a promotion for Rogaine, right? And so, you know, I went through all of, you know, I talked to Rogaine, I you know, got all the talking points, I knew what I could say, what I couldn't say, the fact that I have to put sponsored video, and on the video it needed to say sponsored. And the day before I launched that video, I'm watching one of Casey Neistat's vlogs, and he holds up Rogaine. Oh, look what somebody sent me. I don't know why they sent it to me. Look at this hair. And he did this whole thing about Rogaine, but he never actually admitted or said that he was getting paid to show Rogaine. It's like he's such a freak about like blacking out like logos and stuff like that, but he should be honest. And I think that first off, I think it's really crappy to not disclose it. Like my whole theory and thinking with promotions is if you're going to promote products, cool. Make sure they're not shitty products or promotions, and you know, don't lie to your audience. But you got to tell them, and don't be embarrassed, own it, but just make sure that the products aren't shit. And he just never talks about the products he's promoting, and I think it's terrible. And it offends me because I am so blatantly open with it. And the main reason I'm open with it is because of the whole credibility thing. The other thing is that it's a legal thing. You need to technically, and the FCC, is it the FCC, FTC, one of those, FTC, I think. Yeah. They require it. They require you to say, and the mommy bloggers, you know, back in the day got into a lot of trouble because they weren't actually saying it was a sponsored post. They're talking all about their amazing Tiege Hanley skincare system, and it's like, oh wait, oh by the way, this is, and so they got the kibosh, they got the hammer drop. A lot of fines were passed out, but YouTube has not been made, YouTubers have not been made an example. Another example, recently there was a big Instagram thing where this company had all these models. It was like Fry Fry Festival or something like that. All these like Instagram people were getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to promote it, but they weren't saying it was a sponsor or an ad or whatever. And the FTC said, and they actually got big time fined and in trouble. But YouTube, it's going to happen. It's going to happen really soon. And so, you know, because I do so many promotions, I wanted to be proactive in how I handle it. And honestly, it boils down to credibility. And I just think it's kind of disgusting when somebody in his position and following isn't honest. And I think that is pretty disgusting. And so, super talented guy. I still watch his stuff, but I think he should do a better job in being honest with when he's getting paid or compensated. And even if it's not like Casey, show this product and we're going to write you a check, okay? If he's getting like Samsung, if he's got a deal, or like, he should just let people know. It's not that big of a deal, but it feels really sleazy since he's not. And I love you, Casey. I think you're awesome, but do a better job. And the last question I'd like to get to or comment says, where was it? It was a good one. Hold on. Question, Aaron, will you ever go to Shark Tank with this? Just curious, love your products, love your skin. My skin, thank you. Escobar Style 1, you made my day. My skin is fantastic because I am, and I'm actually a year older as a matter of fact. My birthday was Friday, the 19th. I'm 41. I look damn good for 41. Why? I eat right, I exercise, and I take care of my skin. Hint, not so subtle, hint. Anyway, Shark Tank. Tiege Hanley? Man, I tried. You know me, I've been on twice. I actually sent the casting director an email and was like, hey, you know, remember me? Well, and I said, you know, this is the business, this is what's happening. We might be looking for funding, and would it be something where Shark Tank would have me on again to, you know, pitch? And you know, they thought about it for a second, but ultimately she said, no, not with you. If you want your partners to try out, sure. But it doesn't make sense to have me back on because I got a deal on TV last time. And with Shark Tank, you have to understand this. They're really big on the story behind, like the reason I went on again or I was accepted back on again is because the first time I didn't get a deal. Here I am coming back because of this rejection. Pete and Pedro was born, triumphant return, boom, I'm back. I get a deal, yay, everybody's happy. They, you know, then would have to explain, well, he did go home and he didn't take the deal because it really wasn't right, but he's back. And this time he's got to be, and so it's kind of tough. But she did say, hey, if your business partners want to apply, do it. I've mentioned it to Robin Kelly, and we've just got so much going on. And honestly, I don't know that they would do a great job by themselves pitching, because once again, Shark Tank is not just about the products; it's also about the entrepreneur and the pitch and and they're great guys, but we all know who the ham is of the relationship, and that is me. But I'm not ruling it out. We're not ruling it out. We might apply next season. You know, they are actually, right now, as we speak, filming the next season. The season will air in, I believe, this fall, so it'll be August-ish. And then in, you know, January of next year, they'll start sort of ramping up the casting process again. And so we'll see. Who knows? By then we may not need money. By then we might have already raised money. By then we might be in a different position. So you never know. But Shark Tank is definitely, so me? You think that I wouldn't think that, man, oh God, I almost regret going on for these other companies, because this company, oh God, we would destroy it. But I don't know. I mean, like Pete and Pedro. I thought I was going to get a deal with that one for Pete and Pedro, because I was an influencer and all that, and it was a great business. And Tiege Hanley destroys Pete and Pedro in terms of a business. And but at the end of the day, you know, would they still think that it's because I'm an influencer and that's really the value, and it's not that we've got a great system? And quite frankly, that is 100% wrong. We might be where we are now because I'm an influencer, but we're really where we are right now because we've got a great system, a great product, and obviously because of you. And so I think that's a great way and place to start. Just think you're fantastic. This was a fun vlog. Talked about a lot of stuff. Covered a lot of ground. Guys, in the comments of this vlog, if you've got questions, each week I'm going to do a better job of starting to talk or answer some of the questions. So read through them and upvote, okay? So I'm going to maybe hit some of the top 3, or I don't know how I'm going to do it. But make sure that if you like a comment or there's a good comment that you want answered, hit that up arrow so that it gets to the top. Guys, we love you more than, we love you more. You know how much I love you. I love you more than Shark Tank. Guys, we think you're fantastic and super spectacular.